part of the mission of the Alliance is to honor the legacy and history of Off-Broadway. And one of the ways we do this is by remembering primary members of our community who we've lost this year and whose life and work helped create and shape Off-Broadway. So we want to remember them, also remember them. And so I want to tell you about our first Hall of Fame honoree. In The Rest I Make Up, the documentary about her extraordinary life as a playwright, María IRENE Fornés tells an interviewer, being an artist, you have to abandon any notion of things making sense. But Ms. Fornés and her complex, absurdist work aimed straight at the subconscious made perfect sense to her fellow artists. She came to the United States from Cuba in 1945 at the age of 14. She wrote over 40 plays, won 9 OBAs, including one for Lifetime Achievement, was nominated for a Pulitzer Prize. In 1999, she was honored by the Signature Theater, which presented an entire season of her work. Not all 40 plays, but almost. She wrote the book and lyrics for Promenade, collaborating with with the composer Al Carmines, another giant of the experimental theater, which premiered at the Judson Poets Theater in 1969, and then moved uptown to the Promenade Theater. The New York Times described Promenade as, quote, a mixture of Candide and Samuel Beckett viewed through Lewis Carroll's Looking Glass. Okay. Anyway, if you missed it in 1969, it turns out you can catch it at the City Center this month, where it will be presented as part of Encore's Off-Broadway series. Her groundbreaking Fifu and Her Friends premiered in 1977, the story of 8 women struggling with how to live with the bizarre reality of external and internalized sexism, was revolutionary for its feminist themes and its audacious immersive staging, requiring the audience to get up and follow all the actors around from one scene to the other. That sort of thing I find unnerving and disorienting today. And it happens a lot when you go to the theater today, but Fornés was doing it in 1977. The enormous influence of María IRENE Fornés is still felt today in her own work and in the work of the playwrights she taught and mentored, including Tony Kushner, Ella Vogel, Sarah Rule, and David Henry Wang. So here to accept the Off-Broadway Alliance Hall of Fame honor on behalf of María IRENE Fornés, please help me welcome her friends and collaborators who we're honored to have with us today, the playwright Eduardo Machado and the director Moreno.
I just want to start with a note by a very dear friend of Irene and one of her students, Migdalia Cruz, from Migdalia. My mentor and tormentor taught me how to tell the truth and to use that virtue in my art to make an uncompromising life in the theater. This was María IRENE Fornés' gift to me. Thank you for granting her this recognition that her body of work and her fearless pursuit it so deserves. And at this point, she's going to cry. Like, that I can't do. I've only been the artistic director of INTAR for about 10 years. I didn't know Irene personally, but I have certainly known her work, her reputation, and of course, her incredible legacy of writers. Irene's legendary Hispanic Playwrights in Residency Lab was instrumental in providing a breadth of work for Max Ferrer, our founder, as well as countless theaters around the country brave enough to produce Latinx playwrights. Irene's legacy of writers has been the gift that has made my reign of terror at INTAR so successful. Playwrights like, of course, Migdalia, Lorraine Lamas, Josefina Lopez, Caridad Fitch, Oscar Colon, Nilo Cruz, and of course, my predecessor, Eduardo Machado.
I met Irene when I was 23 years old in California at the Padua Hills Writers Conference. Theater festival started in LA by Murray Mednick, Sam Shepard, and Irene. And it was to teach playwrights how to write plays. And then actors like me would come and do Irene, Sam's, and Murray's and other private plays. When I met Irene, her name was Irene, and my name was Ed. And you know, she was a hardcore New York acclaimed playwright who loved showbiz. A year later, when we were doing Padua, she said to me, I think I need to do something for the Latinos. There were Latinos then. And said, I'm going to start teaching at INTAR because I think we can create a movement. I went, okay. And so I got an NEA grant for my first one-act play, moved to New York. And she said to me, I'm not going to pay you because you already got an NEA grant. You didn't deserve it. And so I was a servant at the first Hispanic playwrights. I poured coffee, I cleaned the tables, but I learned how to write. And Irene changed my life, gave me a magical world to walk into. And the one thing I know about Irene is her secret was she loved showbiz. Her passion was that she loved the theater. I remember Irene telling me what it was like seeing Waiting for Godot in Paris. Or when Bread and Puppet, when she first saw them in a field in New York and all these puppets started walking towards her over a hill. But the story she liked the most, she was obsessed with the story, was telling me about how in opening night of a Geraldine Page play, that the audience applauded the third time she picked up the phone. And she said, that's a real actress, and that's magic. Thank you so much for giving her this. She deserves it. She was a great talent. And I don't think the Latino theater in America would have been anywhere without her. Thank you.